Hi, Alan Hadley with MyPhoto Networks. Thanks for joining me for this next video tutorial. Today, we're going to be working with black and white photography. What we're going to be doing specifically is changing the actual filters in the camera to show you the difference between each filter. Now, in your camera, in most cameras, there are black and white filters that are available. There's yellow, red, green, and orange. And each one of these filters will affect your specific black and white image when you shoot it and use it in camera. Now what we're going to illustrate today is how these actual filters are going to affect this scene behind us, this barn. And the composition that we choose and the way we actually expose this image is all going to be determined based on direction of the light, the actual elements of the subject itself, our perspective, and what we want to accomplish from the actual image. Now, to begin with, what I'm going to be working with specifically is a graduated ND filter, as you see right here. Now, this is a flat plexiglass ND filter, which you may have noticed or seen in one of our other videos. What this will do is darken our sky. What we will do at that point is basically change only our filters in the camera, which leaves us with our finished image. Okay, and to get started, what I want to explain is the process that we're going to use to actually photograph this image. Now, in our camera, we have our colored filters or our tone filters that are actually in the menu section under the black and white setting. Now, understand that we're going to do 5 separate images of this. The first image that we're going to actually create is with no filtration whatsoever except for our graduated ND. Now, our exposure is 100th of a second at f/22, and as you can see, I'm working with a tripod. Very, very important. We want our image as sharp as possible. And because of the distance from the front of my lens to my subject and everything in my foreground, I want maximum depth of field. So all we're going to change in this is simply the filters in camera. So our first shot is going to be with no filtration, just our graduated ND. So let's shoot this shot and look at the finished image. This is our first image that we're going to create, and we're using absolutely no filtration except for our graduated ND. This is what the image looks like with no filtration. Let's look at this finished image and move on to our next. Okay, what I want to do here is actually show you how I'm changing this. And what I'm doing simply is going to my menu. I'm shooting in a D5000, a Nikon D5000, and as you can see here, I'm in the MC or the monochrome area, and I'm simply just going to cross over. And as you can see here, I'm on the monochrome. I'm going to hit OK, and then my highlighted area is actually on my filters. And what we've actually done is change it to the yellow setting, and that's going to be our next image. So let's take a look at this finished image and move on to our next image. This next image is actually going to be in our orange filter, which is going to affect our image in a different way. So let's take a look at this finished image and move on. This next image is actually in our red filter, and obviously you'll be able to see the difference between the orange and the red. So let's shoot this and look at the finished image. Our next filter is the green filter, and you'll be able to see a difference between the red and the green filter. So let's shoot this and look at this finished image. As you can see in the finished images that we've just presented, there is a major noticeable difference between one image and the other using different filters. The biggest difference is understanding how those filters affect the individual object that you're shooting. Paying attention to those details will make a world of difference of how your finished image looks. So, the next time you go out and you shoot black and white, remember to always shoot black and white in camera, and change your filters based on the subject itself. If you're not sure which filter to use, change to all the filters and do the same exposure for each filter. That way you'll be able to see a noticeable difference, and the next time you go out, you'll know what to do. Thanks for joining me for this video tutorial, and I look forward to our next.